For question number 7 in section 3.3, zeros of polynomial functions, we're asked to factor f of x, which is equal to 3x cubed plus 14x squared minus 47x plus 14, into linear factors given that negative 7 is a zero of f of x. What we do is set up a synthetic division problem. If we know negative 7 is a zero, we're going to put a negative 7 in the box. Use the coefficients of the polynomial function, 3, 14, negative 47, and 14. Use synthetic division, and we know we're going to end up with a remainder of 0 because we're told that negative 7 is a 0. This is going to give us an expression here that is part of the factors of the original polynomial function. Always bring down the first coefficient, multiply by the number in the box. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. 14 and negative 21 is negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. Negative 47 and positive 49 is 2. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and the remainder is 0. So the polynomial function can be written as f of x, okay? All of this is the same thing as negative 7 in the box. That corresponds to a factor of x plus 7. Again, that says that x plus 7 is a factor. And then the other factors can be found by using what's below the line here. This is 3, this is an x to the third, so this has to be an x to the second and an x to the first. So the other factors are found by taking 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. Breaking that down even further. So we're going to end up with a polynomial function. In this case, it has three factors. X plus 7 as a factor. Now we have to find the other two factors. If you use the guess and check method, you can get the result. But in this case, I'm going to show you the AC method. The AC method to factor the trinomial 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. What you do is you multiply the A times the C. So you get AC, A times C is equal to 3 times 2, which is 6. You want to list the factors of 6 that will add up to negative 7. Those factors are negative 1 times negative 6. If you multiply them, give you positive 6, and if you add them, you get negative 7. You get the middle term. So we do this AC method by splitting up the middle term. That first term is 3x squared. That middle term, minus 7x, we're going to write as minus 1x, minus 6x, and plus 2. Factor by grouping. You can factor an x out of the first two terms to get 3x minus 1. You can factor a minus 2 out of the last two terms to get 3x minus 1. And then the factors are found. You've got 3x minus 1 is one factor, and the other factor is found by the x and the minus 2, x minus 2. So those are going to be your other factors, 3x minus 1 and x minus 2. So their end result is going to be all of this. I'll highlight it here. The first factor is found by synthetic division, which is x plus 7. The other factor using the AC method, or you can use the guess and check method, 3x minus 1 is a factor, and x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, I made a mistake here. Instead of equals, I'm sorry, the first factor should be x plus 7. 3x minus 1, and x minus 2. Let's move on to number 8. This is a similar problem. Factor f of x equals 4x cubed minus 13x squared minus 37x plus 10 into linear factors given that negative 2 is a 0 of f of x. Since you know that negative 2 is a 0, you're going to put a negative 2 in the box and use the coefficients for negative 13, negative 37, and positive 10. Should be a negative there. Bring down the first coefficient 4, multiply by negative 2 to get negative 8. Negative 13 minus 8 is negative 21 times negative 2 is 42. Negative 37 plus 42 is 5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And 10 and negative 10 is a remainder of 0. So we know that one of the factors of this polynomial is x plus 2. Again, that corresponds with a negative 2 in the box, corresponds to a factor of x plus 2. And the other factors can be found by using what's under the line in synthetic division. This was an x to the third. So this could be x to the second and an x. So we need to further factor 4x squared minus 21x plus 5. So now I need to factor this. I'm going to use the AC method. The AC method for factoring 4x squared minus 21x plus 5. I'm going to multiply a and c together. 4 times 5 gives me 20. And the factors of 20 that give you negative 21, that's negative 1 times negative 20. So by splitting up the middle term into 4x squared minus 1x minus 20x plus 5 and factor by grouping, you can factor out an x out of the first two terms. When you factor out an x, you get 4x minus 1. If you factor out a minus 5, you get 4x minus 1 when you factor out a minus 5 out of the last two terms. So the factors are 4x minus 1 is a factor and x minus 5 is a factor, along with this x plus 2 factor. Again, x plus 2 is a factor, and all of this, as I've shown below here, is how we factor 4x squared minus 21x plus 5. The factors of that are 4x minus 1 and x minus 5. So our final answer, the three factors are listed here. We can check our work. X plus 2 is a factor, 4x minus 1 is a factor, and x minus 5 is a factor. So use synthetic division with the given 0, and then whatever's left under the line, you have to further factor that.